Hi everyone and welcome. I'm Angela Palmer from Stamp with Angela, and I'm excited to be here with you today to share some ideas with you, to inspire you, to help you with your paper crafting, card making and stamping. So thank you for being here, whether you're watching this live or you're watching the recording later. I appreciate you joining me today. So earlier in the week, I had Coffee and Cards, which happens on the first Tuesday of the month at our local cafe, Vero. And we had lots of fun gathering and crafting together. And I enjoy being able to get together in person with groups and classes like that, whether it's at the cafe or more technique type classes at my home. But I know for many of you, you're scattered around New Zealand and even overseas, and you can't, unfortunately, come in person. So that's why I love being able to have these lives, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube, and we can connect and craft, and I can share some ideas with you as well. So I appreciate you joining and being a part of today's live. So thank you. So today I'm going to share a technique with you called the Block Watercolour Technique. Maybe it's something you've seen before. I know I've done this years ago, and it was something that I thought, oh, I'd like to do that again, particularly because there was a stamp set that I saw and I thought, oh, that'll work really well with the set. So that's why I tried to do it. So sometimes we don't do something for many years, and it's good to be reminded of it and to try it again. So welcome everybody. Joanne, I appreciate you being here today. Thank you for joining me. If others join as well, say hi, let me know where you're from. It's great to have you here. All right, so let's get started, and I'll show you what we're going to use today and what we're going to make. And we're going to make a couple of different cards using this technique. All right, let's get started. Okay, so here we have a few of the essentials we need for this particular technique. So I'm going to use some markers for my ink. I'm going to use watercolor paper because that's best for that, and a couple of blocks, and then some water. So I find a spritzer is the best way of doing that. And then we're going to decorate decorate it with a stamp set as well. So let me show you what we're going to use. So the stamp set that we're going to use is the Textured Notes. So this is a new one that is featured in the online exclusive, so it's not in a catalogue, and it coordinates with these very cool dies, the Textured Notes dies, which you may recall that I used last week. So if you have a look, there's different patterns, they're repeated, but different patterns for different size rectangles, just to add a little bit of texture to your card. So if you were here last week, you would have seen this card. See how we've added that texture around it. So that's very cool. So last week we used the dies. This week we're going to focus on the stamp set. All right. In particular, we're going to use these two leaf ones, and then we'll use the thank you as well. So what we did for Coffee and Cards is we make note cards, and we created some cards like this. So using watercolor paper, we've created a colorful background using our block, and then when it's dry, I've stamped over it, added some linen thread and my thank you. So that is a D size block, and this one here I've used the H size block, used different color, Lost Lagoon and Pecan Pie, and I've used the other stamp. So you'll see this one here is this stamp twice, and then this one here is this. So you'll see that it is a slightly distressed look. It's not a solid stamp, which is how it comes out. And then when I did it, which does happen sometimes, I got a couple of drops of water. So then I decided to add even more splatter. So it looks like it's meant to be like that. So we're going to start off that, and then I'm going to show you so these are note cards. I'll show you a normal size card using the technique with a different sized block. All right. So for this card, I'm going to try a different color combination. So what I've got is watercolor paper. So I find that watercolor paper is best, because otherwise, if you use normal paper, I did try this. It hasn't worked so well. It tends to warp, kind of come through. It's not as good. Sometimes I might just try normal paper just for sizing and just to check it out. And then I'll use my watercolor paper. So this is a watercolor paper, and I like to be economical. And you'll see, well, you might not be able to see, but it's actually quite thick if you compare it to standard paper, and it's designed to absorb that paper. So I've cut it in half, and that way I've got 2 card fronts for this. And my second card, even though it's a standard size card, I've still used that smaller size, and you'll see how I've done that. All right, so I'm going to make a card similar to this one with the H block. And so I've got my watercolor paper that's cut ready to go. So I'm going to try a different color combination. I'm going to try strawberry slush, is it? Yes, and fresh freesia. So it's going to be more pinks and purples. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to color with my marker on the block, like so. You can't see that quite so much, but hopefully about this will, whoops, wrong end. So you want to use the thick end. So there's a thick end and a thin end. So I want, because it's much easier to draw with that. I don't know if I've tried this thicker, this color, so we'll see how it goes. Then I'm going to spritz it. So I'm actually going to spritz my paper a little bit first as well, just to wet it, because then it will go on this. Now I'm going to work fairly quickly. I'm going to spray this. You'll see it start to kind of run. Then I'm going to carefully turn it over and put it down. Try not to let it drip, but you know, it might. All right, can you see sort of those colors trying to run a bit now? So try and get it straight, but if it's not, the important thing is press it down, but don't lift it up too quickly. Just give it a minute for those colors to soak in and then lift up. All right. So they might run a bit, that's okay. I'm actually going to help them run back that way a bit more. And what you could do, except I didn't bring it in with me, is if you've got a water painter, I'm going to use my finger, you could just kind of help move it around a little bit if you need to. If you want to, you can sort of dry it a little bit too, or just leave it. So for coffee and cards, we did this and then we left it. And then we came back to it later. We made our other card. But if you don't want to wait around, just get your heat tool to help speed up the process. But just careful that it doesn't run kind of thing while you're holding it. So I'm just going to put it on a low temperature and dry it. Like so. So it'll take a little bit of time. So you can try all sorts of different color combinations, that kind of thing, but you do want to make sure that it is dry before you stamp. Otherwise, the other color that you're going to use on it is going to bleed. So it's still even running around a bit there. I feel like I'm doing this the wrong way around. It's plugged in on my left side, so I'm holding the heat tool with my left hand and this with my right, and I feel back to front because I'm a right-handed. All right, so just gently drying it. And this glass mat is heat resistant too, so it's a great surface for stamping on, and you know, you can easily wipe it off, but it's also heat resistant, which makes it great as well. So this is going to, because it's such a big stamp, and I use quite a bit of water, it's going to take a little while to dry, but that's okay. So has anyone tried this technique, or maybe not for a while? Okay, so when I go to stamp my image, I'm going to use, black would be quite good, or a dark color. I'm actually going to use one of the new in colors. I'm going to use Secret Sea. So it's kind of a dark bluey, blacky, grey kind of color. I think that's feeling nearly dry. All right. Just this one up here a little bit more. Okay, cool. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to use the bigger stamp for this and put it here. And then I'm going to put my thank you and some linen thread around it after that. Now you can see there is a little bit of drops on it. So I'll show you after what we can do to make that look like that was all part of the effect. Right, now this is quite inky and you'll see it's on the edge as well. So I don't want to rock it. So I want it fairly up so that I can put my twine below it. Press, hold, up. Nice. Okay, I'm going to close. Oh no, we won't close it up. We'll do our little thank you now too. Again too, it's kind of around the edges, so I really don't want to rock it. Down and up. So make sure when you're stamping, you really want a down and up kind of motion. You don't want to rock it, otherwise. Have I got a scrap piece I can try it on? Yeah, on this. If I rock it, I know this is not re-inked, but if I stamp and rock it, you'll end up with those lines, which we don't want. Okay, there we go. So let me show you that splatter idea. Because it's pink, we'll do a bit of pink splatter. I'll move everything else out the way. So I'm going to get my marker. You want to be careful. With the thick end, you just want to flick gently into the cap and you get spots. See that? Don't know how well you can see them. Can you see those spots? We could add a little bit of pink to it as well. Not pink, fresh freesia. There we go. So you can kind of create it so it looks like it was there. So now we're going to put some twine around, and I'm just going to put it on a note card. So just like that, quick, simple card. Oh, now you can see it has run a bit. So it obviously wasn't quite 100% dry. So that's to show you what happens if you don't dry it properly. So it wasn't actually 100% dry. I didn't check there. But that's still okay. I'm kind of trying to move fast. All right. But there you go. That's a different color combination to what I did before with the pinks and purples. The pink is definitely more dominant, but that's all right. I'm going to show you another layout shortly, but we'll just put this card together. But it's very good. All right. So if you want to create a background, look at my hands. Oops. Oh, great. Now the end of the, what do you call it? Linen thread's gone on the floor. So we've nicely unwound, whatever the word is, unwound. Okay, so I'm just going to go back and forth, then stuck down, stick it back. So we're not winding it all the way around and wasting it. Economical here, you've probably seen me do this before, one of my little things I like to do. And just adjust it, and then we'll get a bit for a bow, and we'll tie this on. Just like that. Okay, so was that fairly quick and easy to make? So you can make lots of these. I don't think my ends are the same length, but anyway. There we go. So then I'm going to get my note card, which comes pre-scored. Oh, that linen thread. No, what was that? Oh, that was my spritzer, which I will need soon. So let's fold that in half. Just make sure it kind of lines up as we fold it. And then we're going to glue that on. There we go. But make sure, oh, look at that. I've got to scrum from my hands. We'll cover that up with that. Ah, I've made it too big. I forgot to cut this one down. Okay, so that's okay. We can do this. So I forgot this one is not exactly a complete half, but I have my trimmer, so we are good. So I'm going to pull that bit of thingy off. So the width I did is 8.5. How much are we going to cut off? I don't really want to cut too much off the other side. So let's go 8.5. And then we'll take a little bit off the top, bottom. Oops, that's a bit, oh dear, what have I got that stuck now? And it should be 12.3. Oh, so very little off the top. There we go. I don't know about you, but I like to clean the tracks. So just clean, not every time, but every now and again. You can see all the white furry bits that come off. Okay, back to our card. Oh, that was sticky because of the tape. That's why it's stuck there. I forgot about that. All right, there we go. You'd never know, right? Now we've got a border. Okay. The good thing was we checked before we put the glue on the back. Otherwise, it would have been tricky. All right, then I'm going to show you a full size card. Okay, we'll just have to manipulate that bow slightly. What have I got on me? There we go. All right, so there we are. So this was our first one with the Lost Lagoon. Here is the same design, but with fresh freesia and strawberry slush. And then we did have another one somewhere with the strawberry, no, what was it? The orange and the yellow. It'll be Timid Tiger and Daffodil Delight, probably. All right, so there we go. So that's the first of the cards we're going to make. Now, I've done it with a smaller block, and I'm using this one. So it slightly goes over the edge, but that's okay. And I'll show you 2 ways that I have done it. So I've done one this way with my purples and yellows. So I've used Highland Heather and Daffodil Delight. So I've done 2 squares. That one's quite straight in the line. That's all sort of a bit more mushed together, which is cool. And then I have used the colours Highland Heather and Daffodil Delight behind it, and I've angled it. Now I know some people don't like angles. You don't have to if you don't want to. Then I made this one, which I think is my favourite, with Lost Lagoon and Pecan Pie. So still kind of the same colours as that one, but I've done my base as Lost Lagoon. Now, because of the size of the cutting this in half, the watercolor paper, that had to be my first point. So then I decided just to border it a little bit. So we're going to do that. And then I'll put it on the Lost Lagoon, which means it has a bigger border. So basically the reason of the sizing came down to getting 2 of these out of 1 sheet. I wanted to be economical. All right. Joanne says loves this technique but hasn't done it in a while. I know that was like me, so that's why I thought I'd pull it out. Particularly when I saw this set, I thought, oh, this will be great to do. Okay, so somewhere I've got a little block here. So we'll make sure it's clean. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. But I'm going to stamp this one, and then this one in the middle. So we'll use the same colours. We'll use Lost Lagoon and Pecan Pie. So some Lost Lagoon. Now, when I did it last time, I didn't actually wet the paper this time. I did wet this, though. So we'll see how that goes. Spritz it. Whoops, we're going to be, what's the word? Oh, no, I keep dropping things. That's not good. Spritzer keeps rolling off the table. Let's put it on that side. Okay, lifting it up carefully. Oh, interesting. Let's just, you can also, if you want to, kind of dab it. Maybe that was a bit too much water. Oh no, now I'm taking the color out. Okay, you can put it back on again if you need to. Right, now we've got a merging of colors. Not quite what I planned. It's not quite as clear cut as that. So let's do it again. I'm going to dry it in between. We're going to go for not quite so much water this time. I wonder if I make that my bottom one, but then we're going to put brown at the top. But that's okay. I think I'll do that. And we'll switch it around. We'll do brown on the top, or you could vary it, I guess, alternate them. I know there's lots of possibilities. Right, let's go with not quite so much water this time. Probably won't have enough this time. It's not running enough. One more. There we go. Okay, except we want brown at the top. 3, 2, 1. Oh, that looks good. Except I don't think there was enough water with the bottom, and that's quite dark. We can let it run. Okay, clean it off. No card will ever look the same, okay? They're going to, because, look for the thick end. No card will ever look the same. They're going to be different. When you've got watercolor and things like this, it's always going to be different. Okay, let's move that out of the way. We'll spritz one more time. And if it, I'm going to do it a little bit dry, show you what happens, and then we can, so see how that didn't really work? It's okay. We're going to just spray it again. I did that on purpose. Add more water, and we'll try it again. So you can kind of come back. You get a second chance. See? And that's obviously a bit darker. It's a little bit more, I'm just going to use my finger a little bit. What's the word? It's a little bit more darker than the others. I'm actually going to go over that and see what I can do, because it looks a bit mushy. So we'll do that. May or may not work, but no matter what you do, they all look great. Is mushy a word? So we want brown at the top. Oh yeah, that's better. Okay. Just slightly dab it. Okay, then we've got to dry it, which is going to take a bit of time. So I can read any comments while we are drying, answer any questions, that kind of thing. I'm just trying to, get to my computer and scroll down and see what comments we've got. Right. Now you can see I do have a couple of splatters there. So maybe we will have to do our splatter technique again. Is that on 1 or 2? That's a bit softer, gentler. There we go. All right, so I will chat away as we let this dry. Well, that's actually, if we do that, they don't show up too much. Awesome. And by the time we add our leaf over them and stuff, you know, they're not perfect. That's how they're meant to be. So if you like this particular set, it's called the Textured Notes. So remember that, I'm going to drop my trimmer here. There's the stamps and the dies, and you can use them, you know, quite differently. Can't get the dies at the moment with my one hand. Now, the very cool thing is at the moment there is a sale. It's called the Sweet Sale, as in sweets, not lolly sweets, but sets of products. So if it's an online product or as an online exclusives, or whether it's in the annual catalog, if it's the whole suite or even some of the products within the suite, if you buy one, you get the second one at half price. And so, for example, if you bought something like the SIP Celebration Suite, which I think is like $166 or something, and then actually let's move this, we don't want to melt that. And then you bought this bundle, which I believe is like $103.50 or something like that. You would get this at a half price, whatever half price of that is. So you just need to be careful how you put things in your cart, because if you bought a big suite and then you bought embellishments, the embellishments might only be half price. So before you check out, make sure you look to see, you know, what's done at half price. And if you need help, then I'm definitely happy to help you. So just, you know, let me know. But yes, so some things, obviously, you know, like your cardstock and your inks and all that, that's not part of it, but it's got to be products within the suites. So if you're not sure, contact me. I wasn't exactly sure, so I put a couple of things in my cart to see how it worked, to see what was included and what wasn't. And that's kind of how I figured it out. So I'm happy to help you. So that's for the month of June. So it doesn't have to be, it can be the whole suite, or it might be the bundle from the suite, or it might be the paper from the suite. But you might as well get, you know, choose something as your half price. It'll be the lower item. That's the half price item. So if you spend something that's $166 and something that's $103, the $103 will be the 50% off. So it's, whoops, wrong way. Always the cheaper product that is the 50% off, which makes sense. Okay. Oh, it's still a bit wet there. I've learnt my lesson. I don't want to, whoops. So my heat tool's got 2 settings. It's got a 1 and a 2. So this, I'm using the 1 at the moment. Yeah, just a gentler speed. Generally with heat embossing, I'll use the 2. Water coloring with water, just so it doesn't, you know, blow it away and things. Tend to use 1, but just, you know, see what you're doing and see what works. That's feeling a bit more dry now. But I like this sort of, you know, cascading kind of look. All right, that looks good. So now we're going to use our small one. We're going to use our Secret C again. And I'm sort of going to stamp them in the same direction. So I'm going to keep it angled like that. And lucky last. Now, I guess generally speaking, I liked, oh, that's there. Just pretend you can't see it. I generally like to put my sentiments, I think, on the right, but obviously that's not going to work on this one. We have to put it on the left. Beautiful. Right, clean that with my chamois and then my, what do you call that thing? Stamping scrub thing afterwards. Okay, so to finish it off, up to you whether you want to put the twine now, or I actually put it onto the brown, the pecan pie, then I put it round, but either way is perfectly fine. But I do like that. So I wonder what colours you could combine together. Anybody got any colour ideas you might want to do? So this is Pecan Pie and Lost Lagoon. I wanted it to be sort of a bit more neutral, a bit more masculine. We've used the purple and the yellow, Highland Heather and, what was it, Highland Heather and Daffodil Delight. We've used, the other example I did was Timid Tiger and Daffodil Delight. So we want it about there. We have used the Strawberry Slush and the Fresh Freesia. There's all sorts of possibilities. Just don't go too light. Not sure if something like Crumb Cake would show too much, but you can give it a try and see. You never know till you try. Okay, so we're going to put the, I mean, you could leave it as is, but I like to add a bit of extra to it, so totally up to you. So remember, wind it back. You can sort of cross it over if you want to. I'm going to straighten it up, although it's not straight. So cut it off, and then I'm actually going to move these down a little bit, so hopefully they're more level. That's it. We're just going to move it down a bit more, so you can sort of, there we go. And then I'll tie my bow. Oh, how much do I need about that? And then put it on my card base. And I am going to stamp inside my card base with this same leaf, and I'm going to do similar with the pecan pie, and I'm just obviously using a white. I'm not going to use watercolor paper on the inside because I'm not watercoloring, I'm just stamping. So this does look a little bit more cream. If you look at, this is basic white, you can tell a slight difference, but inside the card it's fine. So where was that stamp I had? I should have stamped this before. Stamp it before you glue, because if you got a line and needed to do it again, you could turn it over before you stuck it down and, you know, wasted the, oh, that's got ink on it. See, oh, look at that. It's on my hands. What do we do? I might just not stick it on for now. We'll just put that aside. I might get another bit later. I need a wipe or something. I'm just going to wipe it on my chamois. Okay. Let's try not to get ink on here. Who else does that? Have ink on your hand and then get it on your project. Not good. Right, that's going on the front. Isn't that cool? Then to finish it off, I've added a couple of embellishments. So you want something that's a neutral colour. So I'm using something that I don't think is current, but we've had. These are the adhesive back court rounds, but I think they're perfect colour for the pecan pie. Now my Take Your Pick tool is also next door, so we're going to use our snips. One, a big one and a little one. I like to do sort of triangle shape. Let's do a little one down here this time. Like so, and we're done. And here's the one I did earlier with that inside with no smudging, which is what we want. Cool. All right, so there you go. So that is the block watercoloring technique. So remember, you need a block, you need a couple of markers, you need water. So a spritzer works well for that. And then some watercolor paper. And then if you don't have a heat tool, that's fine. You can just put it aside, and coffee and cards, you know, half an hour later it was nice and dry, so that's fine. So there you go. So let me show you what we've made. Oops, that's spare bits over there. So we did, or other examples that I've got. Oh, here's the first one we had. So these as well. Cool. So out of these note cards, what do you like? Lost Lagoon, the pinks and purples, Fresh Freesia and Strawberry Slush, or my oranges and yellows? Let me know. And then what about these? Do you like the Lost Lagoon Pecan Pie or the Highland Heather and the Yellow Daffodil Delight? So that's very cool. I hope you enjoyed that. So remember, this is the stamp set that are the textured notes. And then there's also the dies that, you know, go with it. You can buy as a bundle, but they, you know, obviously used in a different way. Very cool textures giving you patterns. Can you see like that on your card? So that would be quite cool. Let's see if maybe that one would fit. This one, I don't know if it would quite. Oh yeah, you could cut sort of that out. Obviously I wouldn't get my 3 on. I had to make it that sort of size. But all sorts of possibilities with those. I love these dies. And remember that with the sweet sale, buy one, get one free. No, not get one free. Buy one, I said that the other night. Buy one, get 50% off. Okay, so for June. So it can be a whole suite or products from a suite. If you're not sure, just put something in your cart and then add the second item and then see if it reduces, or just message me and I can help you as well. But it's a great way to get, you know, suites or bundles or products and things. Getting 50% off is amazing. That's very cool. So just reach out to me if you need help. And yeah. So thank you for watching me today. I hope you liked today's cards. Hopefully it's given you some ideas, inspired you. Most of us have got a block. So I'm going to try and switch cameras now. Are you switching? Yes, there we go. So most of us have got like a block, hopefully a spritzer or something like that, and some markers. And you can, you know, create a very cool background. And watercolor paper is helpful to have as well, just for that. So I see Joanne likes the Lost Lagoon. I like that too. I think that's very cool. And Linda's learned a few things that would help with the watercoloring background technique too. Cool, because she did a very cool card with our swap using the bird stamp, which looked really effective, Linda. It's out of arm's reach, otherwise I'd show. Excellent. Well, thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed today's live. I do enjoy being here with you each week to share some ideas to inspire you. It's a way of, you know, crafting and connecting. We can't always get together in person. So no matter where you are, you know, you can join us, which is lots of fun. So if you are local to me, we do have some events and things coming up. So later this month in June, I've got my June classes. I've got a Thursday morning class and a Sunday afternoon class, which is more technique based. We'll do a fun fold and then a technique. So a technique might be something like what I did today, but, you know, we've done this now, so I won't be doing that. And then on the 12th of July, the Saturday, we've got Extravaganza, our Auckland Extravaganza, which is a fun day of crafting. It starts at 10. We go till about 3:30ish, 3:34. You make 5 projects. Learn again new techniques, try some new products, make some great cards, have fun crafting with others. You might find, you know, at home you want to craft, but you don't quite get the time to do it because everyone's, you know, demanding your time. Set aside a day for you, a day to come out, enjoy crafting, come home with some great cards and ideas, and you'll get instructions, and there's some door prizes and displays and all sorts of things. It's just a real fun time. So if you'd like to come, get in touch with me. It is in my events on Facebook, so you can look for the details and register there as well. We'd love to have you join. I know many of you are coming back, which is great, but maybe you haven't been before and you'd like to come. Maybe you're out of Auckland. Maybe you can come to Auckland for the weekend and come visit and be part of it. It would be great to see you. All right, thank you so much for today. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you sharing this time for crafting, and I hope you've learned some new things, and I look forward to seeing you next week. So each Thursday, remember, if you're on YouTube, please feel free to like this and subscribe so you get notified of other videos. And if you're not on my mailing list, please sign up. You'll get exclusive tutorials, tips and more, and then you'll be notified of things like Extravaganza and other events. All right, thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care. Enjoy your day.